really bloody parts censored. Eventually, he decided that this wasn't enough either and went on to record himself live reacting to full videos, blurring them out but letting the audio play unedited, meaning you could still hear whatever was happening in the video. In all fairness, Moth was doing something no one else was really doing. The only issue is that there's a reason why no one else does that. Because it's a bad idea. No other person in this makeshift community, from people who cover goofy ARGs to those like Nick Crowley who cover real Zoosadist circles, would turn real murder into a spectator sport. Not because it's controversial and daring, but because it's a dumb idea for a multitude of reasons. To make matters worse, Moth could often be seen giggling and cracking jokes while he watched people get tortured. This particular video he's reacting to is the Azov crucifixion, which was widely claimed to be faked. But Moth himself in the video suggests that its authenticity is simply unverified, meaning he acknowledges the possibility, however remote, that he could have just reacted in that manner to a real video of a person being crucified. But if that video possibly being fake makes it tolerable, Moth immediately goes on to cover very real videos while making the same kind of offhand remarks. One of Moth's worst offenses, and one that would come back to bite him later, is when he reacted to a video of a 15-year-old girl being stomped on her head by a mugger while giggling and counting the stomps like Sesame Street Dracula, even titling the video after it.
And I'm going to do something more messed up. I'm going to count how many stomps actually happened because I'm curious. You can judge me all you want. You calmly don't care at this point.
Even if he tries to play this down and claim that this video is being misconstrued, this is how he himself described it in a reply he made to someone claiming he only supported the LGBT for clout. Bitch, I cackled like a hyena while a girl got her skull stomped in. Screw YouTube and screw you. Moth truly supports LGBTQ and trans rights. Let people be who they are. There's some speculation about whether or not the victim of the attack actually died as a consequence, but regardless, it's a brutal act happening to a minor, and Moth saw fit to not only watch it, but react to it like it was a Fine Bros video. This definitely crossed whatever the line is that separates covering cases and consuming violent crimes as entertainment. Within a month of that upload, he reacted to an entire mixtape of child abuse material and had the original audio play throughout the video. It's not like this is the only thing he could do that got views, so there's no good reason for him to be so laser focused on reacting to real life abuse caught on tape. As a matter of fact, due to the nature of the content, his videos would often get age restricted and demonetized for obvious reasons. But how did he make his money, you may ask? Well, there's his merch store where he actually sold items that directly referred to gore videos, which is pretty sketchy to say the least, but as he himself acknowledged, his main source of income was Patreon, which went from $1,000 in January 2021 to over $4,000 in June, to allegedly over $10,000 in August. The perks were pretty basic. You get access to bonus videos, behind-the-scenes vlogs, and premium Discord benefits. In July, his Patreon was temporarily shut down, and he posted a message to his private Discord server commenting on it, saying, "The Patreon is temporarily shut down. It's okay because we needed some changes around here. I'm appealing the takedown, and if we have to rebuild, so be it. If we get the same page back, awesome. But regardless, this will be the new format for the Patreon." Right after, he clarifies what you get with the higher tier's premium Discord benefits: uncensored gore and access to the full mixtapes and clips he's reacting to in the videos. Based on this alone, we can deduce that this was the reason for his Patreon being taken down, as the distribution of graphic, sadistic, and violent imagery is expressly forbidden by Patreon's terms of service. Despite having a wife and multiple kids to provide for, he continues to jeopardize his main source of income by disobeying Patreon's rules, and instead circumventing them by hosting the videos on Mega and emailing them to his patrons. Ethical questions aside, this is just plain stupid and irresponsible. User UglyGremlin69 on Kiwi Farms was seemingly responsible for the Discord leaks, proving that this was happening to those outside of Moth's inner circle. And he then proceeded to dump the 3 most suspicious channels to the farms. One of the messages from these leaks shows him speaking about getting the child abuse tape from the dark web, which is something he said in the video as well, following it up by claiming he sent a tip to the FBI about it. I don't really understand how it can be bad enough that he tips the FBI off, but it's not so bad he can't download it from a dark web distributor and then send it to his own audience. At that point, how far off are you from distributing child abuse material to sadists? He's reacting to animal abuse, and those kinds of people will obsessively look for content pertaining to their interests. So how do you ensure that you're not getting those kinds of people as an audience? The answer is, you can't, and he just didn't care. At the beginning of that same video, he clearly states that he will find a way to continue providing uncensored content to his followers, despite whatever issues issues may come up with the Patreon. Despite the pretty decent amount of money he was making at this point, there were no real improvements to his production value. The video's packaging and editing were still much very amateur. It sure didn't look like he had someone else editing for him, so he probably was doing it all by himself at zero cost, keeping all of the money. Smart business tactic, if I do say so myself. There was so much backlash from the child abuse mixtape video that it pushed Moth to make a follow-up explaining why that kind of content is legal and doesn't qualify as child exploitation because it's not sexual. But of course, this isn't a very strong point, since there are many people who consume sadist content for gratification. He was clearly developing an audience of actual degenerates, and he was fine profiting off of them. But that's not even all of it. People in the comments and in Kiwi Farms pointed out Moth was being a little facetious when he claimed that the tape didn't contain anything sexual, alleging he forgot to mention in both of his mixtape videos that the ending also includes a track from Pseudo Scorpion, which is a notorious album that includes sounds from... Now, I personally believe he left that tiny little detail out on purpose because he previously had made a video talking about Pseudo Scorpion and stating that it's illegal. That's also wrong. In the USA where he lives, it's completely legal, and didn't want to look like a moron, not realizing that ship has long sailed. However, by doing so and getting attention to the said mixtape,